Hello, sister friends. This is Jenny, and my channel is Senior Perspective on Sister Wives.
It's here! Oh, it's here!
Today we are going to be talking about episode number 15.
Part 2, here we are.
Okay, now we go into what seems to be TLC setting up the dual scene of Christine's kids versus Robin's kids. We cut back and forth between Robin and Cody sitting down talking to Robin's kids, and then Christine's kids on their own talking to each other. Okay, here's the duality of the scenes. Robin's kids are sitting down, very meek and mild, with Cody and Robin there, coaching them through, asking them questions about their experience with visiting churches. Apparently at this point, they had done more of these little interview sessions with the pastors. Fine. Okay, fine. It's what they want to do. It's okay. It's okay. It's not what I would do, but it's what they want to do. So be it.
Teach their own, you know?
Now they've chosen a church to attend. They went Sunday morning. Cody was very weird about it. I guess it's something I just need to let them do. They're going to church. They're not leaving on a mission for 6 months. They'll be back in an hour. It's so bizarre. Okay, so they go attend a church with mommy.
We found a local church that the girls are interested in, and the three of us are heading out to, a service today.
Well, how are you feeling about this, Brianna?
Feeling nervous and excited, but mostly excited.
Okay. And how are you feeling about this, Aurora?
Nervous but excited, mostly excited but also nervous.
They're going to church. I think they've forgotten what's involved in churches. Nothing should be nervous about going to church. Nothing. They've been brainwashed, or I think Cody's been talking to them a lot about how horrible church is. Because I don't think they've really been in forever. They only have positive memories. But yet, why would you be nervous to go? Especially when you're going with your sister and your mother. Where are the nerves? I really am getting a headache again.
Not again.
Isn't it crazy how many times I say the show gives me a headache? I'm not joking every time I say it gives me a headache. My head starts to hurt as it works overtime trying to figure out these people. Your church has messed you up if you're nervous to go. If you're nervous to go,
Don't go.
you should not be going. Anyone who attends a church and in the morning before they go, they're nervous to go back to that church, don't go back. There is a sign that something is wrong. Nervousness, confusion, angst, fear, not of God. If you feel those things, there's some other forces at play. Run. Go someplace else. In this case, they haven't been anywhere yet. So all this can only be coming from all the stuff they've been fed by their father. That's my conclusion. What do you think? They come back and sit down on the back patio to discuss it with Cody. Oh, how interesting it is.
Nice way of putting it.
Now, before I go into the details of that, let's discuss the other scene that TLC is trolling Robin Brown and her family regarding. We have Christine's kids who are independently getting together and coordinating, organizing, and implementing a wedding shower for Christine and David. They are deciding on how to do the decorations, where to put different things, what kind of beverages, what goes in where. They are working together as a unit. They are discussing who's doing what. They are talking on camera about the different personalities of each other.
Do you need help? No. How does this thing unlock? Why? Why is this? What's it? Oh God, I don't want to do it anymore. Ask me, please help me. What is it supposed to do? It's supposed to close. Oh, wow. Wow. Rude. Good job. This is bad. But we do have to hold up the center for this weight bearing. Yeah.
We have 30 minutes.
A little bit more of the pepper jack, a little bit more of the Colby. I think between McKelty and Aspen, McKelty is the bossier one.
Basically, we have Isabel calling out McKelty, saying, McKelty's bossy. She tells everyone what to do. She's opinionated.
These tall jars, let's put the drinks in. The juices in the tall jars.
But I think that she takes on that role very easily.
We have more balloons that we can blow up. So just fill this gap, go with it. It's a scoop, go with it.
So if Aspen gets bossy, it's serious. Whereas if McKelty is, it's always like that. So it's not.
But when Aspen speaks up and she tells people what to do, people listen. She's E.F. Hutton. Those of you youngins don't know that reference, but it was a commercial back in the day. I mean, was it a national commercial? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. See, now I don't even know what that commercial was for, so I guess it wasn't a great commercial. I want to say it was for like legal services or financial services of some sort. Apparently, I didn't listen. All right.
Hey, focus.
Reminds me of another commercial that I used to love.
Are you kidding me?
And I saw this like over a decade ago. You were in a tunnel and all of a sudden there was a big light at the end of the tunnel. And the commercial just said, is that a light at the end of the tunnel? And then all of a sudden you heard, and it said, or an oncoming train. I don't even know what they were advertising. Not only did I not buy what they were advertising, I don't even know what they were advertising. But it is a good line. Okay. All right. Sidetrack. Sorry.
Focus.
So yeah, digs were thrown at McKelty. And I think McKelty would probably agree to everything Isabel says because she pretty much owns her personality, the good and the bad of it. But there was no fight or anything like that. They were laughing as they were talking about it. So it is what it is. So it was kind of cute. And that's the kind of relationship that Christine's kids have anyway. You know, that banter where they poke fun at each other, especially with Peyton and Christine. Like they're the main ones. And then McKelty would be the third one who like that kind of interaction with each other. And apparently David in the mix now as well. Isabel, Aspen, I feel like they're a little bit more on the outskirts. Gwendolyn, I think so too. We just haven't seen a lot of Gwendolyn, but I think Gwendolyn was there, which was really nice. Gwendolyn was there helping as well. So really, besides Peyton, all her kids were there. Well, I don't know if Truly was there or not, but all the older kids were there besides Peyton. Or was Peyton there?
Get it together.
I think Peyton was there too. I apologize.
Is she still drinking?
So there we have the kids having a lot of fun, setting up, doing a great job, just independently moving about, doing what they need to do. Christine, nowhere in sight. Of course, because her kids are grown-ups. Creating, organizing, planning, implementing a full-on shower. Now, I forgot to mention, actually, we have 3 scenes. Mary's having a party as well. She's having a housewarming, some sort of party back at her B&B. Neighborhood friends, some people came from outside of the area. So she's getting ready for that. As part of that, there is the whole joke about, am I going to call myself Mary Davenport now? And that kind of came from Facebook and Instagram. For a while, there was a lot of conjecture and people talking about how she was going to change her name to Davenport because they saw the name Davenport on something somewhere. I don't even remember. I try not to go down those rabbit holes when people go down them. I heard it in passing and I was like, whatever. When it's official, tell me and we'll talk about it. But I don't like these, hey, did you hear that this might happen? And somebody saw that this might be something that might be something that might be something that something might something.
Why you speak English, lady?
Okay. Too much stuff in my brain already. I can't muddle it up with might possibly something yada 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 kind of maybe possibly happen. It's hard for me to recall the stuff that's up there already. Don't mess with the neural networks I've got going already, people, with unnecessary muddling of information that's possibly untrue.
I am just in this really weird place right now. Very, very confused.
Robin's confused. Again. I mean, it shouldn't surprise us. She has been confused since she entered this family. Somebody help this woman.
In my head and my heart are still hanging on to that idea of us being out on the property and us growing old together and co-parenting and like it's gone.
Yes, it's gone. Where's the confusion? You had it. You ruined it. It's gone.
Bye-bye.
Not confused. Robin, figure it out. Don't even figure it out. There's nothing to figure out. It's over. Move on. See, if you can claim I'm confused, you can be a victim. She loves to be a victim. So she will forever say, She's confused. Even if the answer is right in front of her. This woman could have a test with the answer key right next to her, and she's going to say, I'm confused. Do I put the answer from 1 to 1? I mean, because like, what if that's not the right one? I don't know. This is all so confusing.
I feel like I've been gaslit by some of the family members.
Okay. Here's where I lose my cool.
Really? This ought to be good.
It's going to become a public service announcement where hopefully somebody from the Cody Brown clan can watch, because I am going to teach everybody what it means to gaslight. Are we ready? Here we go. When somebody lies to you, that does not mean they are gaslighting you, okay? They're just lying to you. When somebody misleads you, they are not gaslighting you. They are misleading you. When somebody says something you don't agree with, true or not true, but you don't agree, that is not gaslighting. You just don't agree with them. When people talk about you behind your back, that is not gaslighting. That is people talking about you behind your back. Okay?
She's everybody's favorite teacher.
Okay. All right. And what other examples have we had of people in this Brown family using the word gaslighting incorrectly? 2 components to gaslighting. You must have both components to use the word gaslight correctly. One of those examples could actually be a portion of it, but it's only a portion of it. To gaslight somebody, you are telling them something that is incorrect, but then you switch and you say that that thing never happened. That you never told them that. You have to, you see, you have to have the second part of it. And actually, the second part of it is the most important part of it, because you don't always have to say the negative thing. It could almost be like an action that you do. In fact, that's where it comes from.
Come again? Look,
It comes from the movie Gaslight that is from so long ago, it was in black and white. My husband likes to watch old movies. He likes to watch every movie, but he'll occasionally go on the classic channel and we'll watch something. And so I came across, I didn't see it from beginning to end, and I feel like I want to go watch it. It's from so long ago. But I remember watching a portion of it because I was going through the kitchen, I was doing something, and then I watched a good portion of the movie, and I remember thinking it's a good movie. And he was saying at the time, I don't know, this was like a decade or 2 ago, this is where the term gaslight came from. The name of the movie is Gaslight, and in the movie, one of the things the guy would do to make his wife? I don't even know, it was so long ago that I watched it, make this woman feel like she was crazy is he would turn off or turn on the gas lights, and she would like turn it off, and then she would go do something and she would come back and it would be on again. So see, it wasn't even a verbal exchange, but he was making her feel like she was crazy. Didn't I just do that? And then he would say, no, you never turned that off. You need to turn them off. Go turn off the gas lights. And she's like, I did turn off the gas lights. So the gas lights must have been a significant portion of it because the name of the movie was Gaslight. So maybe it was Gaslights was the majority of it. I can't even remember. It was decades ago. Anyway, I'll watch it. I should do that. That should be on my to-do list. I haven't watched a movie. Well, on Christmas Day, I went and watched a movie. But before that, I haven't been to a movie theater in probably, I don't know, a decade, 2?
Focus.
So it's going to be hard to make this a priority, but I think I will. I'm going to write it down. Anyway, I do know, unless my husband's been lying to me this whole time, I don't think he was. He's an English teacher. He knows where terms and languages derive from and all that. So anyway, that's where it comes from. And it's that being misled by something and then being told that never happened. Being like, what? So you're being manipulated. You're being manipulated. And then you're being told, no, I never manipulated you. So those are the 2 parts that are part of it. All right. I just fumbled through that explanation. Oh, you know what? We should do here we go. Peek behind the curtain. I'll probably have a peek behind the curtain here. Let's see what the actual definition light is. Absolutely nothing to do. All right. Okay, well, we have the noun of gaslight, which is the lamp. Okay, the incandescent lamp that you use. Okay, the verb, to manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or their powers of reasoning. Oh, manipulate. That was the last thing I said to explain myself. I got there eventually. I figured out how to explain myself. All right, all right. I do know what I'm talking about sometimes. She does have a little bit of her brain left. Okay, you're manipulating somebody, but it's not just manipulating somebody. You're doing something to somebody, and then that behavior makes you question yourself. You know what I'm going to do here? I am going to find a clip because I know she's going to have a definition of it. There is a channel, DoctorRamani, I believe her name is. She is a doctor of psychology, and her clinical practice is largely focused on narcissism and narcissists. So gaslighting is going to come up. I know. I'm just going to do a Google search and find something in there. And I will put a little clip in here, or I'll completely edit this out if it's taking me too long and I can't find it. But I'm sure I'll be able to find it pretty quickly.
Gaslighting is a manipulation. It is the denial of another person's reality, experience, perceptions, memories, with the goal of destabilizing them. But it doesn't just stop at the denial. After the person is destabilized by the denial, I never said that. I never did that. You're making that up. You remembered that wrong. How could you not know where the keys are? They're exactly where I left them, that kind of thing. Then the gaslighter goes in and really destabilizes the person by saying there's something wrong with them. By saying something, then denying it. By promising something and then denying the promise. Over time, the gaslighted person feels confused and full of self-doubt. Gaslighting is not a difference of opinion. Gaslighting is not challenging someone's beliefs. Gaslighting is not lying. Gaslighting is that multi-step process where a person's reality, experience, or perception is denied. They're then told there's something wrong with them. Rinse, lather, repeat. It just keeps going and going and going. It's not a one-off. A person's having a different opinion. I love that band. That band is terrible. That's not gaslighting. That's just the two of you not liking the same band. Now, somebody saying, you were late. No, I wasn't. You were late. No, I wasn't. Believe it or not, that's also not gaslighting. What that person's not doing is saying, there's something wrong with you. You're too rigid, thinking 8 o'clock was on time. If they just keep going back and forth, you were late. No, I'm not. You were late. No, I'm not. That's not gaslighting. It's annoying.
I know, it's a buzzword we've been using a lot lately. So many people kept calling Cody a narcissist, and I know a little bit about narcissism, but I didn't know a lot, and so I really wanted to educate myself about it. Holy Toledo, this man checks so many of the boxes. But really, when it comes to narcissism, I think there's I want to say there's 6 or 7 different categories, but even amongst those categories, there's different ways of breaking it down. Really, you could break it down into about 10 to 15 different categories / subcategories. There's just so many, and they all have different characteristics. I really tried to learn as much as I could, but there's so much. My understanding is the DSM-5, it has narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissism itself isn't a term, but narcissistic personality disorder is in there, but they don't have all the different types of narcissism in there. They really kind of describe the grandiose narcissistic as the classic one that you would imagine in your mind. Okay, why how did I get off on this tangent? Why are we discussing this? Oh, because we were talking about DoctorRamani. Oh, right, because I'm going to look her up and I'm going to get okay. Get off your high horse, Jenny. It just drives me crazy. Misuse of words in this family. But then I will say, because the family has been misusing it so much, it has carried over into social media, and so many content creators are now misusing it as well. So I feel like this is my PSA to everybody in the world. I bet any money. I have not watched in a long time. I love Pop Psych. Haven't watched him in a very long time. Not because I don't love him, just haven't had time. I bet any money he's done a whole deep dive on the misuse of the term gaslight in this family. He has to have, because he's a psychologist. He's the expert. Pop Psych guy, he's the expert. Me, speech therapy. That's my expertise. Again, I have to bring it up in every video just to piss off that one person who gets upset whenever I say I'm a speech therapist. I wonder if deep down inside she really did get under my skin. It's only one person, and I keep bringing it up. Maybe she really gets me. Maybe it really does bother me that she thinks that I think that I'm smart because I'm a speech therapist, and I'm trying to prove to people that I'm smart by mentioning it.
What now?
I bet a good psychologist could really unravel that for me, huh? If I wasn't so cheap. And I would actually go to a good counselor or psychologist. Probably never going to happen. We'll never know. All right, let's move on. All right, let's listen to Cody explain. He just cracks me up, you know? He too is the gift that keeps on giving. His language is, it's just good. It's good. All right, let's break down what he says here.
But first.
All right, we're going to backtrack to Robin first. Okay.
I was hearing some feedback from family about, the accusations being made against me.
What family members? What accusations?
That was ambiguous.
You just sound more and more like a liar every day, Robin. You do. You can't just say, I can't go to family gatherings anymore because I heard that there were people, they were saying things. And yeah, they were saying things and they were making accusations. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. I can't live in a world of ambiguity. I can't. My brain won't allow it. I am a left-brained person. Although I love creativity. Figure that one out. Maybe I'm well-balanced. So what was Cody saying? I think there's a natural jealousy. Again, it's like immature words because he doesn't know what to say about it. So it's just jealousy. They're jealous of me. They're jealous of her. They're just jealous of us. Jealous. So there's this natural jealousy that they have of Robin.
I think there's a natural jealousy and dislike that they have had toward Robin, especially Christine and Janelle.
Especially Christine and Janelle. Okay, well, that's 2 out of 3.
We were supposed to be a team working together.
How are you going to be a team working together when you take all the money and give it to one person? Yeah, you were supposed to be a team working together. You and Robin were not working. You were a team working together. You and the OG3 were a well-oiled team working together. You may not have been besties, okay? I admit. But you were a team working together. You put the feelings and emotions aside for the well-being of the family, for the well-being of the kids, for the unity of the family, for the happiness of the family. The kids were all happy. It was a functioning family. And then Robin came in and the whole thing blew up. She had to have everything on her own. You wanted to give her everything on your own and you wanted nothing to do with the original OG3. You still liked the kids, but as they grew up, you weren't even fond of them either.
Damn.
I wanted this family. I was bending over backwards to encourage Cody's relationships with his wives.
And by bending over backwards, I mean I would be doing naked yoga every morning, doing these stretches, and he wouldn't go. And I'd say, go to the other wives' houses. Why are you not leaving? I tried. Hey everybody, it's halfway through the episode.
Already?
Take this moment to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you do that, I appreciate you. It's free and it truly does help the channel. The other thing that helps the channel is leaving a message down below in the comment section. Another free way is, before you do your Amazon shopping, checking out some of my links below first. Whether purchasing the items or not, by just checking them out first, you're benefiting the channel. Believe it or not. So thank you. All right, let's get back to the review.
Come the waterworks.
I had too high of expectations of I wanted too much from my sister wives.
Robin says, I had too high of expectations of, I think she was going to say her sister wives. And then she realized, ooh, that's not nice. So she changed it and said, I had too high of expectations of, I wanted too much for my sister wives.
I had too high of expectations of. I wanted too much for my sister wives.
That was close.
Oh, did you? You wanted too much for them? Then who did you have too high of expectations for?
What were you gonna say?
Yourself, and you couldn't fulfill it? Cody, and he couldn't fulfill it? No, it was the OG3. That's who you had too high expectations for. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Busted.
Now we're going to get to the part where the girls are talking to Cody and Robin about their experience at church. Now, so Brianna shares that she got emotional many times. Like mother, like daughter. We don't know all of the reasons. Listen, I get emotional at church often too. It brings me to tears. It's usually during the worship, because to me, the worship is like me talking directly with God. So as opposed to sitting down and listening to the preacher speak, and I do believe that you can get a word from God through the preacher. I feel like more of a direct word from God is when you're reading the Bible yourself. And in terms of me talking to God, it would be praying, but also in worship. Like, I don't know why, but for me, it just really feels like I am speaking these words right now to God. And because sometimes the words are so prevalent and relatable to what I'm going through on a given day or what's happening in my life right now, that it becomes very emotional. The music's happening as well. And, when there's music accompanying things, you can tap into that emotional side of yourself. So anyway, I understand it can be emotional. Well, she said the musicians were warming up. So this had to been considerably. I've never been to a church and watched the worship team warm up. So they must have gotten there really early and had another meeting. Robin did say that they were meeting with somebody beforehand again. They had already picked this church, so they already had a meeting, but apparently they were having another meeting. I can say I've gone to church pretty much every Sunday my whole life, with the exception of 4 years in college. Well, the year of COVID and a couple years after that as well. Kind of fell off the wagon there for a little bit. Other than that, I shouldn't say I go every week. I'm a fairly regular attender. Never once saw the worship team warm up. So they were there early. Anywho, during this warm-up session, which is very informal, I imagine, people just talking to each other and tuning things, and then they probably don't play the entire song all the way through. They probably do like a chorus, a verse. Does that sound good? Are the levels good? All right, let's move on. Aurora was crying because she was imagining Brianna up there on the stage being part of the worship team.
She is very emotional.
So sweet. I know Aurora plays guitar. I don't believe Brianna does. So I think she's imagining Brianna singing. I will find and insert a clip here of Brianna singing for Isabel's graduation because they were good friends. And I think this may have been one of Isabel's favorite songs. So Brianna gave her the gift of song.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. That was beautiful. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
All right, we have a crazy line. Brianna's saying why she was crying. She's crying, explaining why she was crying.
Say that again?
She's crying, explaining why she was crying. And Cody goes on to share with us this piece of information.
Some of my kids are just not comfortable expressing with me where they're at. Aurora and Brianna are very open. They feel comfortable just talking, going deep into things.
Some of his kids are not comfortable sharing with him. Actually, that's why he doesn't get along with his kids, because they do share with him. He doesn't like what they have to say. I can't believe he just said those words. Normally, we see these kids say almost nothing. They're very quiet. And they look at each other and they look around. I think that, and then they say words that sound like they came right out of Robin Brown's mouth. They strike me as somebody who's scared to speak up. Did we not just hear in the last episode Brianna share that it's kind of scary to share anything with Dad because he's so opinionated? Oh, yeah.
He's intimidating. I don't think he realizes it, though. I don't know.
I'm safe for them, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, the reason I'm asking that is because we're not having those discussions.
But you said...
Aurora and Brianna are very open. They feel comfortable just talking, going deep into things.
You just said...
Just the opposite, actually.
That just happened. They're probably scared to share with Dad too because they see the other kids trying to share about their lives with him and seeing him push back. Nice try, Cody. I'm going to call you out every time you lie. I don't even know if he knows he's lying. That's the crazy part about it. But he is. So, call him out.
I'm estranged from both of my old religions, whatever.
Very interesting. I just noticed in this episode when Cody says, whatever, it seems to be whenever he's talking about religion. He used it once before when he was talking about religion. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's when he said, they told me that the leaders of the church said I'm not part of the faith anymore, whatever. Or I was like, oh, they only heard one side of the story, whatever. They only heard Mary's side of the story, whatever. Now he is talking about their religion again. I'm estranged from both of my religions, whatever. What does that mean? We need Pop Psych to now analyze this. Or somebody with like 5 PhDs. DoctorRamani. She specializes in Cody. If she wanted to make some money, if she wanted to make bank, she could have a whole series of just taking episodes and pointing out the narcissistic behaviors and explain him. Because I would like to explain this whole, why does he always kind of dismiss and say whatever whenever he mentions religion and then go on? What is it that's bugging him about it? Why does he have to keep moving on and he can't talk about it? What's irking him about it? I don't know. Maybe it's what the next line is that he says.
But I love the experience of growing up in them, the experience of being there in them.
It really bothers him. Even though he essentially walked away from the AUB church, even though they told him do not do the TV show and he defied them, even though they said if you want to be in leadership, cut your hair, and he defied them, chose not to cut his hair or be in leadership. Maybe he wouldn't have been anyway because he chose to do the show. I don't know. Even though he chose to walk away from the faith, not wear the garments anymore, the wives not wear the garments, not attend any of the AUB functions or try to grow the faith and get other people to join and create a church where he was, church plant. He's the perfect guy to do it, be a church plant. They just kept complaining, there's no church, we'll start a church.
Well, that's too much work.
They wanted him to be in leadership anyway. They should have started a church. If you really believe in your faith, that's what you do. People go to third world countries where they've never even heard of different faiths, and they share the faith, and they plant churches. He should have been planting a church. There's a show. That would have been interesting to watch. I would have liked that. Okay, well, they didn't choose to do that at all. They went the opposite way. They completely pulled away from everything. Fine, their choice. But I guess deep down inside, he still felt connected to it because he never officially told them, I'm leaving, because he still had the wives. So he felt he was still spiritually connected to them. Well, now the wives have left. He's never in the past 15 years attended any church service or done anything affiliated with the church. Can he call himself part of the AUB? No, he's not following any of the commands. He's drinking alcohol. He's not wearing his garments. He's defying leadership. No, so he isn't part of it. But being told by them, Mary is released from you. He didn't like that. He's okay when he's the one in control.
Well, sure.
And choosing to defy all the rules. But as soon as they say, yeah, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You can't treat this woman this way. She can be released from you. Whoa.
I got a phone call from the church leader who said, we've given Mary a release. And they said a few other things that I don't want to necessarily disclose that sort of upset me.
They did say that it was on the grounds of abandonment, and I know he doesn't like that word.
He still wants to be a part of it. He doesn't want to abide by it. He doesn't want to follow the rules, but he wants to be a part of it. He wants his cake and he wants to eat it too.
Spoiled rotten.
Can I just say, have you noticed his teeth are getting more and more yellow from episode to episode? What is that? Is he smoking? They are just, what are all the different things? I know there's dentists out there. I mean, if I personally know of 3 OBGYNs who watch this, there's got to be dentists also that are watching this channel. Tell me, what are all the different things? I mean, I'm sure he brushes his teeth. So besides just poor dental hygiene, is it just drinking coffee and smoking are the only things that I know of that yellow your teeth? And he's so vain. So is there something else? Okay, let's just get to the bottom of it. Would somebody who used steroids
Allegedly.
have a symptom of yellowing teeth? They do not seem related at all to me. I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend.
The idea of my children having the experience that I had in the LDS church is still a sweet idea to me.
Sweet. We're adding that to our list on Tuesday nights. We always have drinking words. Sweet. We have to add, it's sweet. We have a lucid moment here of Robin, I don't want to say speaking truth, but Robin being rational.
What did you say?
It's an interesting scene to watch. You know, we just watched him say, I gotta let them go to church. I gotta let them do their own thing. Godspeed. God bless. You do you, boo.
It's their path. I need to realize that I have to be very careful to do the hands-off thing, be a good dad, support them with what they're doing.
Did he say at the end too? He threw out something like, be prepared, it's gonna be different. You're gonna sit down, they're gonna sing songs, a man is gonna talk, and then you're gonna leave.
Radical!
It's wild.
Probably have to be really open-minded. It's going to be different.
Anyway, now he's telling them, I just can't help but want to push it towards the LDS church now. You were just saying we could make our own decisions and again, these girls are in their 20s. Clearly you don't trust them. I mean, you don't trust your wife. We saw that last episode. Can't go to church. Men might hit on you. Don't trust that you can hold your own.
And you're okay with me going to church? Like, you're not going to have some sort of problem with that? I mean,
as long as you guys aren't
choice.
blocking me out. Like, I want to come.
Okay, that's why I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if you were interested in that or not.
No, you don't want to go too long without me because I don't want some guy thinking you're a single mom.
Robin interrupts and says, that's what Dad thinks, but we are not going to really give you our strong opinions. We are going to let you decide.
That's what Dad thinks. You don't have to agree to that.
Well, we're not forcing any religion on you.
Well, we're not going to give you any strong opinions.
Cody corrects Robin and says, Mom is not going to give you any strong opinions.
Mom's not going to give you any strong opinions. I'm going to try and be more careful about my strong opinions.
That guy put the dick in dictator.
Translation, I cannot control myself. I am a man who blurts things out, has lots of opinions, thinks my opinions are the most important, and therefore I must share them with you.
Because that's my opinion.
I see all and know all.
Cody then shares with us that he's reflecting back on all the mistakes that he's made with his older kids because his perspective was so fundamentalist Mormon. He did not do a good job of letting them make their own judgments, decisions. I mean, kind of. He wanted to kick them out when they were 18 years old, so these kids are in their 20s and he's still trying to hover down. I don't know. It seems like he's more restrictive on them than he was with some of the OG 13. But anyway, I'm not completely following his train of thought. Nevertheless, his opinion is that he was very restrictive with them and he's trying to learn from that experience, which is good. The kicker in this whole thing, though, is if he's able to look back and realize all the mistakes that he made, why can't he go back and apologize for them?
Now that's a little too much.
Why the disconnect? Is it just the narcissism? Is it that you can't? Your ego prevents you from doing it. If you really have that ability to reflect back and say, whoa, mistake. I did make all these mistakes. I mean, honestly, I have gone back to my girls. I don't know if I've done it with my son. I don't know if I've made any mistakes with my son. Narcissists. I don't, no big ones anyway. I know, I'm sure if I ask him, I'm sure he can give me a laundry list. But I have with my girls at times when we've had some like real deep conversations and talks, when we've been like bearing our souls, like on vacations, you know, when you're away in another environment and you're palm trees and ocean waves and you're just sharing and, you know, sharing advice, wisdom. I'm like, oh, there's so many things in my life I wish I could go back and do again. Everybody has them. Everyone makes mistakes along the way. You learn from your mistakes. You just treasure your children so much. You don't want to make any mistakes, but you will, and you do. You learn from them and you do better the next time, and you hope that they're not terribly large. There's like things you say that you regret afterwards, and things that you do that if you could go back, you're like, yeah, that wasn't the right decision in the end. I should have done it differently in that case. Or things I didn't do, or situations I didn't set up, or rules that I didn't put in place that I wish I would have, because I feel like things would have turned out differently. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Can't live in the past. But for a couple circumstances, I just felt better saying to the girls, I am sorry that I did this or that I didn't do this. Nothing horrible. Back off, people. But just like little circumstances. It's interesting, though, that there were some specific situations of things that I did that I felt really bad for that I apologized to. Like, I remember my daughter going, I don't remember that at all. So here I'm carrying it for 15 years, the guilt for something she has zero recollection of. Did it torment her? No, clearly. Tormented me, though. Should have apologized a long time ago. I guess what we learned from that is, if you think you've done something wrong, apologize right away. I do that now. Actually, I do. I have learned from my mistakes. Another PSA. If you know you've done wrong and there's still ramifications from that, i.e. your kids and you are still estranged, go make it right. It's easy. And yet, Cody can't do it.
For a little while, I thought that maybe this is what God wanted, like this whole plan of me going public for the sake of plural marriage and then blowing it so bad that nobody would want to be in plural marriage.
It's funny because it's true.
I'm like, oh my goodness, was this part of the whole plan?
I know you're laughing, but God's probably laughing too. Yep.
What?
It worked. You look a fool. Thank you. Try to keep people away from that.
Ready or not.
We have Cody talking about, I don't know, whose fault is this? TLC? Puddle Monkey Production Company? Cody? Maybe it's Puddle Monkey and TLC trolling Cody. They get Cody to talk about Christine's wedding day again so that we can get his favorite thing to say about it.
I know Christine could sense something was wrong when I went to our wedding day. I had a 1,000-yard stare.
Say that one more time.
So we end the episode with the shower, which the kids did a great job of decorating. It looks lovely. They look like they're having a good time. Christine found another different white dress. I don't know how many white dresses there are out in the world, but Christine has found them all. This one is really cute and actually fits her really well. So people were commenting Sunday night on our live. Yeah, it fits way better than the wedding dress does. David looks very handsome. I like the new groomed beard and shaved mustache look. I don't know why. I don't think I normally would ever like that look because it looks a little too Amishy Mennonite for me. Maybe because I live in Ohio. Not a huge fan of it. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe it's becoming the new look and subliminally I'm being taken to it because I'm starting to see it all over. I don't know, but I just think David looks very good. And the two of them together just look cute. I've always said husband and wives look a lot alike. Now, this isn't always 100% true. I had this philosophy all through high school that apple faces are attracted to apple faces and banana faces are attracted to banana faces, and that people who look like each other are attracted to each other.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
By and large, it's always held true.
I seriously doubt that.
Not always. There are sometimes an apple and a banana can be attracted to each other, and it lasts a long time. I always find it interesting when it happens, though. Because I find that doesn't happen that much.
That's normal.
Anyway, if you look at the features from their eyes, their nose, their mouth, It's very similar. They really have a very similar, from their profile, this section, it looks like it matches. They look like a good couple together. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it just struck me as I was looking at a still picture of the two of them from their profile. I'll take a picture of it and insert it. See if you agree. Then at the very end, we get another lovely little juicy nugget of information. I love all the little juicy nuggets. Golden nuggets, juicy nuggets. Love them both. Janelle shares how Christine called her up and said, hey, this guy is a keeper because the very first time they went away to a hotel and spent the night together, he opened up the luggage rack thing in the hotel room, took Christine's luggage and put it on it. Not only did he just let Christine use that luggage rack, he picked up her luggage and set it up on the luggage rack for her. This is called gentleman. Cody, not a gentleman. Not only did he not set up his wife's luggage on the luggage rack, he did not allow his wives to use the luggage rack. Christine said on their wedding night she was shocked when they got to the hotel room and he pulled out the luggage rack and grabbed his suitcase and set it up on there. So she just put hers on the floor. Such a sad scene when you think about it. And every time from that point on, they would stay at a hotel room. Cody always took the luggage rack for himself. The wives used the floor. And Christine said years down the road, somehow it came up between her and Janelle. She said Janelle mentioned, why he always takes the luggage rack. And Christine's like, with you too? So they're spilling the tea on how selfish Cody is. Cody's most important.
It's just totally rude.
That's right. How rude. I'm going to keep that clip. Cody, what do you think about a man who takes the luggage rack for himself and makes her wife use the floor?
It's just totally rude.
Yes, how rude.
Once you break up, it's like everything you go back to is like, there's this and this and this, and the luggage rack is just a petty thing to complain about.
Just a petty thing to complain about. He's rude, he's disrespectful, he's dismissive, he's authoritative, he's selfish. He calls it petty. They're just being petty.
Right.
If it's true that when you get divorced, you start just talking about all the other things about the other person, he'd be doing it because he's petty. Oh, he'd be petty. But we're not hearing anything because they haven't done anything wrong. They're saints compared to this man. Oh, and let me tell you, I am sure they are holding a lot back. So when a little thing like this comes up, he's like, oh, they're just being petty. No, they're saying how you're a jerk. You want to call that petty? Okay, fine. I guarantee if he tries to come back with something, though, it will be petty. It will be something that is
Inconsequential. Superficial.
Petty.
no big deal. But he'll be like, I'll tell you what they do. I'll take off my shoes and put them by the door. They'll move them to the other side. Because that's how they are. Yeah. And they'll be like, because the mat for the shoes is on the other side, he just leaves them on the carpet, and then the carpet gets all wet. And okay. That's how it would go. I've just created the scene for you. You're welcome. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. If he had any ammo, he'd be shooting. And he's not even trying, because he knows he'd be shooting blanks right now.
Is this the end? We did it.
Thank you all for sticking it out to the very end. I truly, truly appreciate you. I do. We made it through this episode, and you know what? From the preview, it looks like next week's is going to be good. So make sure you never miss a Tuesday night when we discuss it all together. Until next week, thank you, take care, God bless, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.